everybody, and welcome to my PIF talk at Life Coach University. Today, we're going to speak about choices. But before I start speaking about choices, let me just welcome you to Life Coach University and my PIF talk, because I am so happy that you're here. These PIF talks and Life Coach University itself is all about love, and we pay it forward to you so you can pay it forward to anyone else as you see fit. And it's a ripple effect that comes through love and nothing else. Empathy, caring, all these positive emotions, positive vibrations, bringing the positivity out to the world. So again, thank you for coming. So my name is Jodi Jackson, and I am a manifestation coach. And all week long so far, we have been talking about living your truth. And are you living your truth? And we've had different subjects for each day. So on day one, we talked about who are you as a person? Are you living your truth? Are you being yourself? How to figure out who you are. Day two, we spoke about what kind of person you are around others. Are you yourself, or do you mold yourself depending on who you're around? Day three, we talked about what your daily thoughts are. What do you think about on a daily basis? Are they stressful, or are you able to keep yourself in a flow and in check and centered and peaceful? The following day, we talked about honesty. That's a big one. Honesty with yourself, more than being honest with others. Honesty with yourself. That's a big one. And yesterday, we talked about surrender and letting go. Are you someone that can surrender and let go? Or are you holding on tight to what doesn't serve you anymore? And then today, we're going to talk about choices. So before we get into it, I just want to reiterate that I am a manifestation coach. So everything we are talking about here, just going to see, okay, if anyone's here yet. We're going to talk about what kind of choices you make today under manifestation. Everything I'm talking about all month is ultimately about being able to manifest in your life. All right, so let's get into today's topic, which is choices. So what kind of choices do you make? And are you aware of the results of those choices? Especially, we know we're aware of them when we make a choice and something really good happens, right? We want everything to be happy and wonderful and making us feel good all the time. We love that feeling much more than the other way a choice can make us feel, which is in a negative way, right? Sad, angry, frustrated, disappointed. So do you know, are you aware of that feeling that you get if you've made a choice that brings you in that direction, to the negative side? How aware are you of that? And if you are aware of that, do you use that to be able to move on into the future with a better knowing and how to try something differently? There's that, or there's not really thinking about it, possibly making similar choices or the same choices again and getting the same outcome. So you can see there's a way to learn from your choices, even if they are mistakes, lessons. I prefer to call them lessons than mistakes. You can learn from that rather than keep going down the same path. It's going to take you further and further in the negative direction. You can learn from that lesson and go the positive route. So every day I'm always mentioning, please feel free to mention in the chat if you have anything you want to add, if you have something you can relate to. If anybody so far, I see there's 3 of you on right now, have anything that they want to add to this, or if you just want to pop on and say who you are and where you're from. This is a new thing I'm starting. Let's see who's coming in here so everybody can see everybody else, because I realize this is an isolated place. And let's see, I love that mistakes can lead to learning. I'm here in Shelton, Connecticut. Well, I'm right near you in Shelton, Connecticut, Monica. That's wonderful. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, they can lead to learning, but it's that awareness that it can lead to learning, and to use that and to not get so frustrated. I actually have an amazing example that I can give you of this today that just happened to me yesterday. And I'm not surprised, because I've learned to keep my life in flow. So it probably happened so I can be here today to share it with all of you. So if you're here in the United States, you know that our government is giving out free test kits in different states. And so they gave them out here in my state of Connecticut and where I live in Stratford. And just from learning from lessons and knowing they were not going to have enough of these test kits, one, I set up to get my ducks in a row. I thought I should be there as early as possible because there's no appointments being made. It's first come, first serve. And I also thought about, which way should I go to get to this place? Where do I think most people are going to come from to get to this place where they're giving out the test kits? Well, I only really knew one way to go, and that was the way everyone else was going to be going. So I open up my trusty GPS and I put in the address where it's going to be. And I say, I look, how can I get there? Well, lo and behold, the GPS is giving me a different way to go, a way that I never knew to take. And I thought, should I take this way because I don't know it? And where is it going to take me? And can this be a mistake? Or should I take the way I know and just get there as soon as possible? Well, it said it was only going to take me a short amount of time, actually shorter amount of time than the place that I knew. And you know what I did? I try to follow my own advice. So I trusted my gut. I felt within, and it said, take this new way. So I did. And all of these things that I'm thinking about doing have come from lessons that I've learned in my past. Well, guess what? I went a completely different way. Number one, I saw a part of town that I never even knew about that was beautiful. It was by the water, and it was absolutely gorgeous. I was driving all by the water. And two, I did come from that opposite direction on the same street. And guess what? There were a lot less cars. So yes, I waited an hour, which I'm told I was lucky for, that it could be a lot more than that. But I was able to be there, wait on that line for less than an hour, and I was in and out. Well, I was curious after I left to get online to some places that I know about, to see what other people were talking about And was it just as simple for them, or did it go a different way for them? Well, I heard all about how it was a mess. People were so upset. They were given misinformation that they were out of test kits, and it just went on and on and on. So all I could do was be grateful for the experience that I had. Sorry if you heard that ding. And I was very grateful the experience I had. Even though I waited an hour, even if I waited, I've heard people say 3 to 4 hours. You know what? I knew that's how it was. This is how it is now. People are clamoring for these test kits during the pandemic. I would have come out of there being grateful that I got one. And the choice to think like that is what keeps me in my flow. I am not going to the negative side about what did I miss doing today? I had to wait all of this time in line. Sure, even in the hour I was there, I could have done more things, but I was grateful instead. And I am all about working with the universe, source, God. This is why I'm a manifestation coach. And this is how we manifest, to be grateful. So let's go back to choices and think again after hearing a story like this. Do we go right to the negative? Or can you think about a choice that you've made and it didn't work out and you went right to the negative? Is there something in that story that you think back on now, there was a positive there that maybe you just weren't thinking about? I'm here to tell you, if you think about that positive, you know, we're all human. We could be upset about how everything came out. But if we think about that positive first and foremost, you will find yourself moving into a flow, and you will find yourself becoming, manifesting into this person that you want to be, the kind of life that you want to have. So choices are really, really important. So let's see. Make the choice to choose your thoughts. Yes, I love that. Make the choice to choose your thoughts. And for anybody that has questions, you can put them in the Q&A box as well. So feel free to do that. I'll see a number pop up. So with this story, does anyone have anything else to add? If not, I can speak more. So results of your choices. Are you learning from your results? Or are you doing the same thing over and over? You know what they say, if you haven't heard this already, doing the same thing over and over and getting the same result and doing it again is the definition of insanity. So what can you do now to get yourself out of that role into insanity? What choices can you make? And then after that, what can you do when something similar comes up after learning from the choice you made? Maybe it was a good choice. In the end, my choice was a good choice to my story. So I'll do that again. I want to do that again. But maybe next time it won't work out as well. So the first thing I'm going to think to myself is, what is the part that didn't work out as well as I wanted? And is there something I can do to make this work out better next time? Because we learn. We're supposed to learn from our lessons. That's what they're there for. I have a whole webinar on why mistakes are good. It's a whole hour webinar. I go into the whole thing. Everything's recorded that we do here in our PIF talks. Feel free to go in and find it if you want to know more about why mistakes are good. So, are you learning from your results, or are you doing the same thing over and over? And if you are doing the same thing over and over, please don't beat yourself up. It might take something like today for you to realize it. We can't know until something makes us aware. Sometimes we can make a choice because something is making us aware immediately, but sometimes not. Sometimes something has to come up to make us aware. So hopefully today, that's what I'm doing. And I'm making you aware of what's going on with something in your life. And now you can think of it. So please don't beat yourself up when you realize something for the first time. The fact that you're realizing it and you're aware is a huge step. And you should actually congratulate yourself and celebrate yourself somehow, which can be a whole nother talk. We don't celebrate and congratulate ourselves nearly as much as we should. We do lots with other people, not as nearly as much with ourselves. So if you're liking this and you're thinking of coming aware of something for the first time, please celebrate yourself in some way. Okay, so how do you move forward making the right choices? Well, I talked about some of it. By realize you're making that right choice and that it did work, and what you could do next time. Maybe you're feeling adventurous. Maybe you're thinking, wow, that worked. Maybe I could try it even another way that I feel like trying and seeing if that works. That's actually a great thing because you're opening yourself up. When you're trying different ways, it's showing you that you're trying to get out of that whirlwind that you're in, that roller, that snowball that you're in. The fact that you're trying that, even if it doesn't work for you, you're trying a new way and it doesn't work again. Kudos to you for trying another way. That's amazing. And maybe you'll just come to the belief that, let me just try it a way that I know is going to work out for me, and do it. So do whatever calls to you. Do whatever calls to you. Do whatever you feel is right in your gut. Like I followed my gut with my GPS, not knowing that direction. And once you start doing something like that, I can't tell you how much you realize in the future. When you try something different, it's such a good feeling when you see the reason why you did it. For me, it was trying that different route, and I got to see this beautiful part of town, and it came together for me immediately. This is one reason I'm doing this. Let's hope it's the ultimate reason that works. But here's another reason that I did this. This is another beautiful part of town I never knew about that I'd like to come back to. So if you're seeing a pattern here, it's looking at these smaller things and noticing these smaller things, which is so ironic, really, because if you know me and you've been to any of the other talks, I'm always talking about pulling back, getting out of your small little, vision that you're in. Because when we're in that and we're in a whirlwind, it's so hard to see what to do next. So I'm always saying, pull back, right? So this is the opposite of that. When you're following your gut, it somehow lets you do the opposite. I don't even know if I could put it in the words, But when you're following your gut and you're seeing that it's working, it makes you relaxed enough that maybe you can just enjoy, not worry, take away that stress. And I was able to see easier, wow, I'm in a beautiful part of town. And I can look at those smaller things. If that makes any sense, can someone tell me if that makes any sense to them? It does to me. I want to make sure everything I'm saying makes sense to you. So I heard you've been proactive and planning, key to making good decisions. Yes, planning helps with amazing decisions, but we can't plan until we know better, right? We can only plan for what we know. So it's that chain of events. We do something, it teaches us a lesson, we learn from that lesson, and we plan what to do next time, right? So maybe you want to write that down if you have a pen and paper, because the more we do that, the more you're going to be in alignment with who you want to be, and more will work for you rather than not work for you. That makes sense. Good. I'm glad. Thank you for letting me know it makes sense. So, okay. It is 20 minutes past the hour. There's nothing in the Q&A. Thank you all so much for coming. I hope you got so much out of this. The week is just flying by. Tomorrow is our last day of the subject of Are You Living Your Truth? And tomorrow is all about my favorite word, which is flow. We're going to talk about flow. Are you flowing? How can you get yourself into a flow if you're not? Because it's an amazing feeling and I want everybody to feel it. That is my gift to pay it forward, if I can give that to you. And speaking of paying it forward, thank you so much for attending my PIF talk today through Life Coach University. If you've gotten anything out of this today, or just came and enjoy the energy of it, please pay it forward in any way you see fit, whether it be something big, something small, something monetary, something free. Make it a smile if that's all you have in you today. And maybe the smile will help you too. So until tomorrow, I will see you soon. Take care, everyone. Mwah. Bye-bye.
When you want something else to change, all you have to do, I will tell you. What you have to do is change yourself. All you have to do is pay it forward in your mind. All you have to do is pay it forward with a smile. You can smile at anybody, hoping that they smile.